Welcome to the Goddess Complex podcast. I'm Ashley Michelle, an astrologer, tarot practitioner, and Akashic Records reader. I am known as the mentor for all things spiritual awakening, no matter where you are on your spiritual journey. I am a modern mystic living in upstate New York, and my podcast is here to help educate you, enlighten you, and inspire you on all things occult. It's my journey and my job to shine a light on some of the heavier topics in spirituality, around money, around star seeds, around mysticism, psychic abilities, the quantum field, and more. I absolutely love sharing with you the tools, books, and research that have helped transform my life into more than what I ever thought it could be. Thank you so much for being here with me, and I look forward to seeing you in the show. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Goddess Complex. If you're new here, welcome home. I'm Ashley Michelle, your host, resident witch, shadow worker, and spiritual awakening doula. And I am so happy to have you here. It is our Halloween Samhain weekend episode. How exciting. I don't know about you, but it feels like this year is just flying by. We're already at Samhain and the Day of the Dead. We have 2 months left. 2 months left in 2022. I don't know, call me a Cancer rising, but I get so reflective around this time of year. I feel like it's a mixture of just watching Pachamama slow down and get colder and watching it get darker quicker. It puts me in a very pensive mood, where I just start reflecting, how was my 2022? How was my year of the lovers? How did I do combining divine masculine and divine feminine? How did I do as a reflection of Source itself? Where could I have been stronger? Where could I have been softer? And what will I take with me in the year of the chariot? Yes, 2023 is chariot year. And don't you worry, babes, we're going to do a full episode on it. But to get your juices rolling a little bit now, chariot is the card of movement. It's the card of speed. We are in motion when we're working with chariot energy. What sorts of things, what sorts of manifestations would you like to put in motion? What sorts of manifestations are currently in motion for you right now? And how can we keep that same energy? How can we keep that same speed? How can we keep that same movement? And not only that, but how can we honor our pace at the same time? Some manifestations are meant to be a slow burn, even if we are coming up into a chariot year. I know we are also finishing up with that eclipse. Yeah, with that eclipse, honey, that eclipse. Scorpio season has been the gift that just keeps on giving this year in so many ways. I'm sure you can relate to it being a bit of an emotional time. And all we can do is appreciate it, right? All we can do is sit in the pocket of the emotion. We must remember, babes, we are spiritual creatures having a human existence. Just because we're spiritual as fuck doesn't mean we don't scream. Just because we're spiritual as fuck doesn't mean we don't cry. And just because we're spiritual as fuck doesn't mean we don't have anxiety, darling. Because we're having a human existence. And inside of this human existence, there's a whole lot of humanity, right? And so as we get through Samhain, we get through the Day of the Dead, and then we get ready for yet another eclipse, I urge you to go easy on yourself and give yourself grace and listen to your body, listen to your mind, listen to your heart, do grounding work when it's necessary, lay on the couch when it's needed, sleep in when you can, watch Netflix when you're ready, play with your crystals when they call, and just enjoy this human existence that we have. And don't put any pressure on yourself. I've been called to say that on multiple different platforms. So I feel like that might be some collective energy that I'm tapping into, this pressure, whether it's to get things done. I know we have holiday season coming up. I've been toying with the idea of doing a holiday episode just because I know for so many of us, especially us in the spiritual community, us in the LGBTQIA community, you know, the holidays can be really hard. And so I probably will do a holiday episode because I'm speaking on it. So be on the lookout for that. But with holiday season coming up, I feel like there's this added pressure, especially in America, that we have put on ourselves to buy the best gifts and make all the food, invite all the people. But oftentimes with our family, our extended family, our immediate family, come a whole lot of drama, darling. And ain't nobody got time for that. So, you know, if that resonates with you, babe, just know I'm here with you. I totally fucking get it. And work your protection magic. If you have specific family members that you are not very excited to see and you know there's no way around it, just remember, like, we are in control at all times. We're in control. And we always have the power to say no, not today, Satan. And we also have the power to disagree, you know, and I suppose I'm saying that because oftentimes around these times, conversations come up, politics, what's going on in the world, people giving their 2 cents. And there is still very much old mentalities that are slowly dying around some of the things that are happening in the world right now, if that makes sense. And they come up and we're not having it. So I'm just here letting you know it's all going to be okay, and give yourself grace and love. Okay. So today we're talking about Lilith. If you don't know, Lilith is a patron saint of StarSeedShadows. She helped me build my business quite literally. She helped me build my business. I wasn't really working with deities or anything like that when I first began StarSeedShadows, if that makes sense. You know, I wish I could tell you exactly how. She sort of called on me and I let her. And so I work a lot with Lilith and she comes and goes as I need. And if you want to know more about Lilith and astrology, I do have a Lilith episode that goes over the astrology of her. And previous podcast episodes, look around like January, February. It was right around when I started the Goddess Complex, which she is almost a year old, hunty. So that's exciting. But so today we're talking about Lilith as a deity. We're talking about Lilith as the dark goddess. We're really getting into her. I figured with Halloween, All Hallows Eve, Samhain coming up, is there a better time to talk Lilith work and Scorpio season and eclipse season? Like, hunty, okay, I get it, girl. I get it. We're gonna bring your name up. We're gonna make the people know. So before we get into it a little bit, I want to talk a little bit about the astrology we have for Samhain. And, the astrology has been interesting, as I've been saying. Black Moon Lilith herself is actually in Cancer right now. And Black Moon Lilith has been in Cancer for a while. And so the Black Moon is very much about what we're releasing, expressing what we're releasing. It's releasing the shadow, releasing the pain, the guilt, the frustration around the shadow parts of yourself. I think of the Black Moon position in your birth chart as your shadow integration, right? So Carl Jung talked about this term shadow integration. And Carl Jung had said the only way that a person can be whole is if they integrate both the light and the dark parts of the soul. And most of us do not integrate the light and dark parts of the soul because we've been told through society, through conditioning, through authority figures that that's bad. It's like, for example, walking down the street naked. Well, you wouldn't do it. You wouldn't do it because you've been told and programmed that you're not supposed to do it. But what if you grew up in a society where it was normal, like a nudist colony? You wouldn't think anything of it. So extreme example, but that's my point is what I'm saying. Some of our shadowy feelings, thoughts, opinions, motives don't really come out, and they lead to a lower quality of living because we're not as authentic as we feel like we can be. And in authenticity leads to a whole slew of things. It leads to feeling worthless. It leads to not feeling like you're fully lovable because you're not showing all parts of yourself. It leads to not being able to express yourself emotionally inside of your relationship containers. I could go on and on about that. So a lot of my work, a lot of my soul missions work is here to help folks be more in the pocket of their authenticity, whether that means building a spiritual business, whether that means doing light code work, whether that means being more functional inside of relationships and having more self-confidence, right? It can mean a number of things. It's not just one. So with that being said, Black Moon Lilith hanging out in Cancer is about this coming home to emotions, if that makes sense. Really almost like not being able to hide or run from feeling or hide or run from thought, if that makes sense. It just kind of showing you over and over again. You might have certain relationship patterns that are coming up, certain problems or discussions that are coming up over and over and over again, or possibly you feeling like you have to prove your point over and over and over again with different people, or even with the same person. And you're wondering, why is this theme continuously coming up? Or why am I always feeling jealous of somebody? Or why is the imposter syndrome so fucking bad right now, right? These are all signs that it's time to dig deeper into your Lilith placement, if you will, and dig deeper into the shadow. So not to mention, we've got Chiron hanging out in Aries, which is all imposter syndrome shit, but this is not a Chiron episode. The biggest placement that I find to be really, really interesting with this Samhain chart is the moon conjunct Pluto in Capricorn. So you may or may not know, but the United States is going through its Plutonian return, meaning that Pluto is right at the sign that it was at when we signed our Declaration of Independence back in the day. And our moon, which, the moon is another gift that just keeps on giving, honey. We done went from an eclipse all the way to a Pluto conjunction. Like, boo, can you sit down somewhere? The moon will never sit down. That's not her job. But anyways, the moon is our subconscious emotional body, right? We feel with the moon. Our intuition is tied up inside of the moon. And we have Pluto, this planet of death and regeneration and rebirth. And what's done in the dark comes to the light when we're talking about Pluto. So, you may like this, you may not, but again, there's more energy around emotion. You can't get away from it. Stop running from how you feel. That's what I'm going to say. If you aren't happy with the quality of your life and it keeps showing you over and over and over again in your face, well, baby, it might be time to do something about it. If you aren't happy inside of the relationship that you're in and on repeat, you keep seeing the same things happening, then it might be time to do something about it. If there's a certain person in your life or a certain profile on the gram that's just triggering the fuck out of you, then it might be something to do it might be time to do something about it, is what I'm going to tell you, because we are just getting lots and lots and lots of themes around going deep, 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 deep inside of our feelings and emotion, and like really like why we feel what we feel, like what is the root? And, sometimes that totally can be childhood shit. Sometimes that can just be, I'm jealous of the bitch. I wish I was thinner. I wish I was prettier. I wish I was this. I wish I was that. We can own those feelings and also unown them at the same time. When we own them, then we're allowed to release them. The thing about shadow work, I'm tangenting a little bit, my loves, but let's just go for it, is that we let these darker feelings come up so that they can be acknowledged. The thing about the shadow is it's called a shadow because it's not acknowledged. So I'm jealous of the bitch. Let's go back to that example. It is a thought that passes, and it may not even be a thought that actually passes. Like you may not even use the word jealous in your head, but you get all these feelings of frustration and anger and whatever you think about when you start to feel jealous, maybe sadness, maybe even regret or guilt even, right? But then you move it on, you let it go, you push it down, and you continue on throughout your day as if it never even happened. With shadow work, we give these feelings names, we give them identities, and we say it's okay to feel the way we feel, but I don't need to be defined by that emotion. Right? And so when we are working with our shadow, and I'm jealous of the bitch, but you continue to let it just be in the background like it doesn't exist, it starts fluttering and fluttering and fluttering and getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And then you start feeling more and more less than because more and more bitches that you're jealous of keep popping up and popping in. Do you get where I'm going? And then before you know it, you're in a space where you feel this might not be reality, but reality is all about perception, perspective. But all of a sudden you get to a space where you're just bitter. You're bitter and you're inauthentic to this bitterness. You're inauthentic to who you are. And it becomes this self-fulfilling prophecy of you not feeling good enough, of you not feeling whole enough. And that's why shadow work is so important to do with somebody. Of course, I offer shadow sessions. You all know that. Link will be in the show notes. But it is really, really good to do this sort of work with somebody so you can bounce off some of these harder emotions that you've been told for 20, 30, 40, 50 plus years that you're not supposed to tell anybody about, that you're not supposed to feel that if you feel that, you're wrong. If you feel anger, you're wrong. And this new earth that we're moving into is about acceptance, right? Think about it. Think about it, babe. If we are all reflections of one another, and we've been doing all of this soul work as a collective around the themes of acceptance, right? Accepting people for their skin color, accepting people for their sexual orientation, accepting people no matter their socioeconomic status, why wouldn't you be able to apply that to yourself and accept yourself for exactly who you are? So, your Lilith points shed light into some of those shadows that I'm talking about and discussing. Some of the shadows that you may be familiar with, you may not be familiar with. So, quick rundown. We all have 4 Lilith points. We've got asteroid Lilith, dark moon Lilith, and 2 black moon Lilith points. I go over all of this in my Lilith course called the Lilith Experience. It's actually going on sale for Halloween weekend, flash sale. What? I'll tell you more about that later. So if you want to go deeper into your Lilith points, I highly suggest you check out the course. It's one of my best-selling courses. And Lilith, let's talk about her, okay? So she's known as this dark goddess, right? But why? Why? I believe, and we'll get to this in a little bit, but I believe there's a super deep connection to Lilith in society and in mythology and in pop culture and the witch wound. I also have an episode on the witch wound I did. I believe it was sometime this summer. So maybe check sometime around June-ish, I believe. The witch wound. I believe it's entitled The Witch Wound or What is the Witch Wound? Fantastic episode. Lots of great reviews on that one. Okay, so Lilith is associated with the snake, the serpent, the owl. She's associated with sex, abortions, with killing babies. She's associated with defiance, with being out of control. She's associated with chaos, with the shadow, with hell, with the devil, with darkness. All of these should sound familiar. Think about Lilith and Sabrina. Think about all the pop culture examples and representations that you've seen of Lilith over time. She's always dark, darling. She's always a deviant. But is she really that dark? I must tell you, my experiences with the dark goddess have been nothing like that. Not scary at all. They've been powerful moments in time of seeing with exact clarity where we need to go next. She's the reason why I'm a shadow worker. She's the reason why working with the deity Lilith has helped me work through a lot of my own shadows around emotion. I have a Black Moon Lilith in Scorpio. Yeah. That's probably why she came to me. But anyways, we can also find Lilith all over ancient mythology, from the Babylonians to the Egyptians, to the Israelites, to the Greeks, to Judaism, and of course, Christianity. And I go deeper into all of these inside of the first Lilith episode I did, if you want to go super deep into that. But to give you a blanket example of this, the one story that most of us know is Lilith was Adam's first wife. Lilith was Adam's first wife, and Lilith wanted to lie on top of Adam when they were having sex. She was like, okay, we've been doing missionary for a minute. It's time for me to ride you, boy. And he was like, no, that's not how this rodeo works. And she was like, no, this rodeo works how I say it works, baby boy. And then it turned into this whole thing. She utters God's ineffable name. She runs out of Eden. And then we go deeper into the story. She goes over by the Red Sea. The three angels come. They say they're going to kill all her babies. She says, I'm going to kill all the baby boys. It becomes a whole thing. Again, I go deeper into that story in the other Lilith episode, but I really want to dig into this whole Adam Lilith thing that's going on because it's absolutely fascinating. Okay. So before we even go there, pin that story, pin it. We see Lilith in the mythology of Lilith and all these different parts of mythology, all these different civilizations that were happening, give or take, around the same time. And then Michelangelo, he does a painting of Lilith and depicts her as a half woman, half serpent, coiled around the tree of knowledge, right? And for those of you who know nothing about Christianity, the tree of knowledge is the tree where there was the forbidden apple, and Adam and Eve ate the apple. Adam eats the apple at Eve's suggestion. Another point inside Christianity where the woman is looked at as evil, monstrous, and manipulative. But, that's like a whole another podcast, honey. So this tree of knowledge is a huge symbol inside of Christianity, and it's a whole thing. So in today's culture, now let's fast forward to now, okay? I found some really cool stuff, and I'm going to link them below. So today, Lilith is the title of a feminist Jewish woman's magazine, okay? And it's literally called Lilith. And then Lilith Fair is what this music festival is called. And it gives profits to battered women. I will link them both below. And there are so many other ways within which we depict Lilith. She has become this icon of celebration and liberation, not just with women, but with folks in general. And then we have the other side of the coin where people, especially super devout Christians, are like, oh my God, Lilith. Guys, I kid you not. There have been so many situations where I've gotten trolls on my Lilith work. Like the Christians come out and they're like, oh my God, you're going to go to hell. I'm like, baby, I wish I believed in hell. For those of you who don't know, I grew up a Jehovah's Witness and they don't believe in hell. So like, there's not even a subconscious part of me that believes in some fiery pit of doom. Like not even a little bit do I believe that exists. And, not to tell you what you should believe, but if you do believe in that, I just urge you to do some more research on that, because you are a fractal of Source God itself. And that level of hurt and pain just wouldn't exist. Anyways, I digress. That was the Sagittarius coming out, trying to tell people what to believe. Let me chill out. But anyways, so, this has really gotten me thinking, is Lilith really this representation of chaos, seduction, and ungodliness? Or is she a representation of liberation, balance, and truth? Or is she all of them? And then, what does that mean? What does that mean if that's what we're talking about? Your Lilith placements are about stepping into your power, right? So I want to go back to the Adam and Lilith example. When I look at that example in the literature, I think about this battle between man and woman. It makes me think of the Lover's card. We're in a lover's year, like I was saying before. It makes me think about this push and pull between who's going to be in control and then how can we find balance. What's fascinating is Lilith wasn't saying that she wanted to be dominant. She was just saying she wanted a turn. And then she got villainized for wanting that turn. She got kicked out of Eden for wanting a turn. And so when we are working with shadow, when we're working with the deity of Lilith, and this goes for men and women and everybody in between, you don't have to be a woman or a woman identifying person to work with Lilith. I want to make that very, very, very clear. In fact, I feel like men identifying folks would do better working with Lilith, because unfortunately, men and men identifying folks, you still got a lot to work through. Hopefully I'm not offending anybody. We all have a lot to work through, but really what I'm getting at is inside the literature where Lilith is demonized on a regular basis. Who wrote a lot of these texts that I'm talking about? Or who is said to have written a lot of these texts that I'm referring to? Cis men, right? And look at where we are as a whole currently, as a collective currently. Women and women identifying folk are still being objectified. We still have to be careful where we walk. We still have to worry about cat calls. And not to say that men don't, but to be a woman living on Earth is a much different experience. It's a much different experience. And the reasons why date back to millennia ago. All of this conditioning has been working on and working through for a long time. It's been a long time coming. And so now we're in this space, this new Earth space of acceptance, like I said before, no matter what color we are, no matter how we gender identify, and no matter our socioeconomic status. It's a slow and steady race, but we are getting there. And doing Lilith work will help you get there even more and help your lineage get there. Your little folk, if you've got little people, get there, and help your siblings get there, help your partner get there, help your parents get there, your grandparents get there. The more of us that talk about this sort of stuff and that take the time to educate ourselves on this sort of work, the better. And Lilith is a great gateway to help us understand the separation that has occurred between man and woman and how to bring it back together as a whole, because you truly cannot have one without the other. That's why when you look at the Lover's card, you see one of the angels, I believe it's Raphael, up above displaying source energy. You have both of these. We have divine masculine and divine feminine inside of self. And over time, we've pulled away from it. Men and women and everybody in between have pulled away from it. And it's up to us to find our way back. And when you work with Lilith energy, it's about finding your voice. It's about finding your voice. It's about knowing what you believe and standing true to knowing what you believe. This is classic battle of the sexes and taking back your voice, no matter, again, how you gender identify. And also announcing and owning your shadows and being unafraid to be liberated in this way. And that is in sexuality. That is in how you dress. That is in your ideas and your opinions. That's your view on certain politics. I mean, come on. You know what's been going on with politics and abortions right now. Lilith and Cancer, boo. Cancer is the sign of home. And Black Moon Lilith has been hanging out in Cancer where the powers that be, the man decided to take our fucking rights to abort away. What the fuckity fuck? And so working with your own Lilith placements brings about a level of freedom and peace, right? That you haven't had before. It opens up and unlocks a piece of your birth chart that you hadn't had before. I believe working with all four. I am the only astrologer I know that works with all four. I do know a couple others that work with the Black Moon. I believe you need all four to really unlock that level of your astrology and really dig deep into your own shadow work, right? And again, shadow work can encompass inner child work. It can encompass adult work. It can encompass money work, relationship work, body image work, confidence codes, ascension codes, intuition, third eye, all of it. Because all of it wraps up into one, like one affects the other, if that makes sense. So when you start honing in and focusing, for example, low self-esteem. That's an easy one to do because all of us suffer from it at some fucking level or have before at some level. Where did it start? Where did it come from? You know, did you have a sibling that always got all the nice things and you didn't? Were you neglected? Did it come from being in school and being picked on? Did it come from being told that your thoughts and opinions didn't matter? Did it come later on in life when you hit adulthood, right? Did you put on a bunch of weight and maybe that affected the way you view yourself? That happens too, right? It's about understanding how to work with low self-esteem through your Lilith placements, through the eyes of the asteroid, through the eyes of the dark moon, and then ending through the eyes of the Black Moon. What sorts of, so your Black Moon Lilith, for example, you take the house and the sign, right? So what area of your life do you need to express yourself more? Do you need to express that part of your existence more, right? And then the lens. Do you need to express it through the lens of the Scorpion? Do you need to express it through the lens of the Taurus? Do you need to focus more on your stability, right? So, for example, Black Moon Lilith is in Taurus 6. That just came to me just now for some odd reason. Black Moon Lilith is in Taurus 6, okay? So for me, I would synthesize that as we are looking to release shadows around feeling safe, feeling stable, and putting way too much emphasis on money, possibly even hoarding money, right? And we would do this by developing a routine, 6th house, a daily routine maybe. Now, this could be both sides of the coin. Either you hoard money or you spend a shit ton of money. But the Black Moon Lilith and Taurus 6, I would probably say you hoard money. But again, no planet is an island, just like Taurus. We'd have to see what else is going on. But let's just say it's in Taurus, right? I would develop a daily routine to maybe your daily routine is not checking your bank accounts. Maybe you check your banking accounts 5 times a fucking day. You have to know exactly how much is in there at all goddamn times. Maybe you just don't do it. And you only 1 day a week is what you do. Or maybe you work on spending a little something on yourself every day. A little, $2, $5 every day to be okay. Because money wants to move. Money wants to move. Money does not want to be hoarded. Money wants to move. That's a whole nother episode. So there are multiple ways for you to go about this work. But one thing I will tell you, it is very fucking transformational, especially when you understand the other pieces that are going on. Okay. So, Lilith work is definitely more advanced astrology, but it is critical in understanding yourself as a soul, yourself as a soul here on earth, as a beautiful motherfucking soul, multidimensional in all of its levels. Okay. I want to talk a little bit about the witch wound. So the witch wound, this is about us not having a voice. This is about years and years and years and years, decades and decades and decades of oppression because you're a healer, because you're a seer, because you're a medicine woman, man, or person, right? Because you see dead people, because you heal auras, all of that, and being oppressed, literally burned at the stake and worse, right? For these gifts. The same thing happened to Lilith. In fact, one could argue she was the first one it happened to by the Almighty himself, quote unquote, fully fucking oppressed for wanting to express herself the way that she wanted to express herself. Well, damn, isn't that a bitch? Isn't that a bitch? So, you know, in my work and with a lot of my clients, my private clients, they have definitely expressed this witch wound thing happening. And witch wound is a direct link to imposter syndrome as well. Because when you don't feel safe to express yourself, you feel like a motherfucking imposter. So do you understand how like doing all of this Lilith work can one helps the other? One helps the other. They all move in tandem with one another. And we can start by looking at the blueprint of your motherfucking soul, your birth chart. You drew that shit for yourself, boo. You see, I'm getting all hyped talking about it. Because like you did when you decided to incarnate here on this rock. Whether you incarnated as human, as earth angel, as star seed, whatever, right? When you decided to incarnate here on this rock, you gave yourself a map, and your map was your birth chart. And your birth chart is infinite. There are so many different ways you can go inside of your birth chart. And Lilith work is this beautiful, beautiful magnifying glass that has been created on your shadow. Chiron helps. Your moon placement helps. Your Saturn helps. But the Lilith work, your Lilith points create this window for you to see your soul in a way that has been oppressed more than likely through generations of your own lineage. And so this really, really helps when you know that it's time for you to dig inside of shadow work and take it one step deeper. You can go to your Lilith placements. So the Lilith workshop, it's a 2-hour workshop. Inside of it, we go deep into Lilith history. We go deep into asteroid Lilith, deep into the dark moon, deep into the black moon. As you know, I'm a Sagittarius. Like, we are not only talking about the astrological stuff, but we're also talking about the astronomical stuff too. Who found these points? What exactly they mean? There's diagrams, the whole nine, okay? And then from there, I'm going to show you how to find them in astro.com. So we'll go step by step. You're going to find them. And from there, I give you interpretations of every single one for you to get a jump start on this work. And then from there, of course, we have to add some tarot. So there's some tarot spreads in there to work specifically with Lilith, to work specifically with the shadow, and some magic, some crystal suggestions, all of that. This course normally goes for $111. For the Halloween weekend flash sale, I'm doing it for $66. This is the cheapest I have ever done this course, ever. So it's going to be on sale for the weekend. It's Halloween. It's going to be done, over with. So go grab it while you can. The link is inside of the show notes. And if you're looking for something to do on Halloween, this is a great way to honor Samhain and to honor Scorpio season without having to think too much about it, if that makes sense, right? Sometimes we make spirituality this really big thing when it could just be, I'm going to take a course and then I'm going to watch Netflix and then I'm going to eat candy. You know what I mean? So yeah, I hope this was amazing and super, super helpful for you all. Please make sure to share the episode. As you know, this is how we get this work out to as many folks as we can by sharing the episode, whether it's on IG and tagging me at StarSeedShadows or with a friend, with a parent, with a soul flame, twin flame, all of that jazz. And, any questions, you already know my DMs are open. If you are interested in doing a shadow work session with me one-on-one, you can. I will put the link there inside of the show notes as well. I'm sending you so much love. Happy Samhain, my babes. And I'll be talking to you in the next one. Oh, hey Hey, boo. Did you love today's episode? Make sure to give me that 5-star review. And if you're ready for it, let's go all the way and leave me a written review on Apple Podcasts. Whenever you all write these reviews, it helps boost the dreaded algorithm, honey. And that is to say, it helps other light workers just like you find this work. And sharing is caring. And I appreciate it. Thanks so much for tuning in. Make sure to take a screenshot, share it on the gram, StarSeedShadows, tag me in it, and I will share it back. See you in the next one.